Hey, my name is Jared. You're watching Backroad Exploration, and today I want to give you a first look at our new to us 1965 Stevens M416 military overland conversion trailer. This has been something I have been looking for a long time. When we were planning to have our fourth kid, we knew that we were going to run out of space in our Jeep JK, so we immediately started looking for something that had a third row. We found a Lexus GX460 that we have fallen in love with, and we knew that basically having someone in the third row, there wasn't going to be enough cargo space for our adventures. So that meant a trailer was definitely on the horizon. Millie's 8 months old now, and we've gone out on a couple of camping trips together as a family. It has been really fun, and the only way that was going to be possible was picking up some type of a trailer, and we found this, and I love it. Let me give you a walk around to get a look at every little piece of it. Now, the first thing that I want to point out about this thing is that this is a really basic setup. When it comes to trailers, you can spend anywhere between like $5,000 and $60,000 in off-road and overland trailers. And obviously the more money that you spend typically means you're getting either bigger or more amenities and things like that. That's not what I was looking for at all, for a couple reasons. One, primarily budget. Let's be frank, I didn't want to spend a ton of money on something. I want to spend under $10,000 on a trailer that was very off-road capable. That's another piece that was really important to me. I didn't want to have to sacrifice where we could go on our adventures with the trailer that we got. I wanted something that could go anywhere we could go, and this can definitely do that. The profile is a little bit narrower than the GX, so I don't have to worry about width issues. It has as much clearance as the GX, so I don't have any issues there. It can go anywhere that the GX can tow it, which is exciting. The other thing that I wanted is I wanted something that was affordable. We spent $5,600 on this trailer, and that included having the rooftop tent. It is a iCamper 4-person tent. Now, it's the original iCamper, so it is several years old now, but they retail for a few $1,000s when they were new. So I feel like we got a pretty good bargain when it came to this trailer, and it is going to be a total game changer for our family when we go out on our adventures. A few other things that were really important to me. I wanted to be able to find something that had the same lug pattern as the GX460. That just gives you extra redundancy. Now, these tires are a slightly different size, but I do think there's enough space in here that I can actually have identical tires. I'm not going to do that right off of the bat because the GX tires are fairly brand new, and these are in quite good condition as well. But I will do is I'm going to be picking up a full-size spare for the GX460 that I can put on the rear of this. It has a rear tire carrier, and then I can take its spare and put it hopefully either underneath the GX or run without a spare for the trailer, but then I'm not without a spare for the GX. My plan has always been, I've traveled thousands and thousands of miles and had no issues with tires, but when you have a flat, you have a flat. It sucks. And in the past, what I have done is just utilize plugs, and you can utilize plugs. I've put plugs this thick in tires, and there's some kits out there for sidewall repairs that you can at least limp yourself back to the pavement, where then I can figure out some type of other solution. That's not ideal and not something that I really want. And so what I would like to do is have a good full-size spare for the GX on the back of the trailer, and that way if we have a failure on a GX tire that is unrepairable, then I can grab that spare, we can go into town and get something fixed and come back out. Same would happen if for some reason I had a failure on these tires, but I'm hoping long term to just get it where the size and everything is across the board. I've got basically 7 tires, all the exact same size, and we can have a lot of redundancy from that perspective. But I love that it has the same lug pattern so that I can make any replacements there. Up here is a nice table. It rests on the wheel well and then is secured with this little system here. When you go to stow it away, this clamshell's up and this mounts inside of it and is just strapped in, which is nice. It gives us a huge, nice cooking platform. And the other thing that I love is it is really tall. I'm a tall guy, I'm 6'2". A lot of camp tables and stuff like that barely even make it to my waist. But this is really nice, comes in right at basically my waistline, and when you put the stove up on top of here, man, it is a perfect height for cooking. Now, the trailer opens and closes with this little system here, so you unclamp this, that loosens it. There's a dust seal right here, which I think does a pretty darn good job. There's another one of these at the rear. You can actually lock it if you want, but I don't find that to be necessary for us, so I just keep the lock with us. And then once you have this up, you can clamshell the entire thing up, which gives you access to the interior of the trailer. Now, one of the things that's really cool about this trailer is it is just built really, really well out of durable, strong materials. It's got a nice articulating hitch so it can go on some really difficult terrain and turns and be able to swivel all the way around, which is awesome. And I love that it's this nice hard metal construction. So up here on the front, or the tongue of the trailer, there's this nice mesh so that you can put things. There's some spots over there that I plan on mounting a few things at, but I've got this water container. It's basically just under 10 gallons, which is awesome for our family. And one of the things I've loved about it is whenever we're out, I'm usually just being really, really careful with water because I don't want to use all of our water. So cleaning is always a little bit more time consuming. What I love about this is we have enough water with us that, you know, I'm not feel like I'm wasting it, but I'm definitely a lot more free to just use water, pump water, and get it going. It's set up with a pump setup, so you can turn on the little pump here. There's a battery that's housed inside of here, and when that is done, then you can utilize this water valve here, this spigot, and turn on your water. Got a little bit of air in there because we had to fix the line. It's nice having some water there. If for some reason your battery dies, I can change a valve inside of here, and then we have a manual pump. So while we're just sitting around camp, we actually just use the manual pump a bunch. So up here in the tongue box, if I just switch this valve like this, that's going to open up my hand pump, and then we have a nice hand pump around camp. The water does have a drain on the other side, so when you're done, you can drain out any leftover water. Inside of here, it's a really simple setup. There's a couple little tools in here, power plug. This is the pump system over here. So just a nice little, you know, marine style pump. It's really handy. So you can see there's a 12-volt setup right here, which is nice. We can plug in some things if we wanted to run some USB or run some pumps, air compressors, different things like that off of there. There's just a deep cycle. It's hard to see with the light. It's just a deep cycle battery down in here. So nothing super fancy. It's just a simple little setup. But man, I think he did a really good job, and I'm really happy with it. I'm probably going to add some type of container down here to the bottom just to organize things a little bit better. But I don't plan on making any significant adjustments to this tongue box other than that. Up here is a light. This light can be plugged in right here and mounted right here for around camp. It's not a bad light. It's not great. It's not super bright. I'm going to maybe look at, I do like the pole and everything, so I might look and see if there's just a better LED light that we could do. I like having more light around camp, especially with the kids in the evenings and things like that. Back here at the rear, right here is a stack of levelers. I'm semi-level right now, not as level as I should be, but I took a couple of those last night and leveled this off. I do like that there is a hitch here. That's cool because you could mount a bike rack or things like that to come out the back and carry your bikes with you out on an adventure. So I think that will be really cool. I have dreams of doing the White Rim Trail, doing a mountain biking trip, and having someone follow like Lauren in the GX with the trailer as a support vehicle, and that would be a cool way to do something like that. So I like that it has that. Underneath, you can actually see there's a decent amount of space. So I've got this rack here. On top of it is the rooftop tent, and then there's this channeling system. So I'm looking at a few different things that I can utilize here. One, I would like to mount the traction boards going across so that I always have traction boards with me. So I'm looking at getting some mounts for that. And additionally, I'd like to find a way to get some type of a table underneath here as well. Just handy to have a table. Now as we're a family with the kids eating, it should be nice to have a table that has a little bit more space rather than the kids holding their plates on their lap. So that's something that I'm interested in adding to it. Now up here on the front, there's a decent amount of space. I don't know if I want to add another type of little box or something that maybe could be tools, is kind of my thought, but I don't know. There's just enough room there that it would be kind of handy to take advantage of this space here to here. So I don't know, I'm just looking into that. If you have suggestions, I'm all ears. This is something I'm really excited for, a propane holder. I have not found a propane bottle that fits this size yet, so I'm looking for that, but I like the idea of having a larger propane right next to this table so that we can have a easier, nicer cooking setup. So underneath there's just this simple axle. The suspension basically is fitment for a Jeep, which means it's nice and easy and inexpensive to replace. I've been really impressed. It doesn't bounce. It tracks really, really well on the freeway going 70, 75 miles an hour. No issues. I've been really impressed with that piece of it. The nice thing is these bins don't go quite to the top, so I can put a few of them in and then still put things on top of it. I do want to find maybe some bins that are a tiny bit wider, just so that I can fit two right next to each other and it takes up the whole width. There ends up being a little gap in the middle, so it's not quite as optimized as I want. Right now I've been putting like the shovel there and tables and stuff, but there's places for those at the end, and I like laying like the chairs and stuff, quick access stuff on top. So might adjust the bins a little bit, but one bin in there and you can see still tons of space to go. As you can see, that thing is just cavernous. Like we've got everything in there except for the chairs that we are sitting on, and those will just go up on top, and there's still a lot of open space. And that's one thing that's been, if you've been watching my channel long, you know, has been really difficult for us as far as, you know, like we're pretty tight with what we bring. Like we don't bring a ton of extra items. When you're camping with 5 people out of a Jeep JK or even the GX460, you know, you have to be pretty judicious about what you're willing to bring and sacrificing in some areas and not bringing some stuff. But man, it's nice having this. We're gonna be able to bring a lot more stuff. And if we are going on extended adventures, or we want to bring some toys like paddle boards and things like that, now the roof rack is free for those types of things. So I'm really excited about having just how much space is inside of this. Now, we're pretty new to the off-road and overland trailer setup, so after I have used this for a while, I'm going to come and do some videos just about pros and cons, but I'm really excited about this. I'm going to be making a few small tweaks, like I mentioned, to just different areas, hopefully to just add a little bit more cargo, and then maybe make the interior have a little bit usability beyond just being like a big box, because I do think there's a couple areas in there that I can actually mount some things that'll make it just kind of nice and handy and more organized is the main goal. I really like, one of the things that I loved about this is yesterday when we were getting ready to go, it took me almost no time at all to pack up to go. It, you know, when I'm putting stuff up on top of the roof rack, I'm strapping it down and it takes a long time to just get everything nice and secure. This, I just clamshell it up, grabbed our bins off of the shelf in the garage, drop it in here, close it down, and we're on our way. And that just adds, when we're going as much as we are, that adds an extra level of convenience that is so nice. And so I want to take advantage of, you know, organizing the interior a little bit better so that it's even more organized so we can just get out on our adventures as soon as possible. If you want to follow along, see this thing in action, follow our adventures, please like and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you would share it with your friends who are into this type of stuff. You can always follow us on Instagram for our more day-to-day adventures. Thanks so much for watching.